Ever look at a bear and think, man, they've got it figured out? No taxes, no 9 to 5, no awkward Zoom calls where you forget you're on mute while eating chips, just fluff and vibes. If I were a bear, specifically a round, squishy, cartoonish one with paws like oven mitts, my life would be a masterpiece of absolute simplicity. My morning wouldn't start with a screaming alarm clock or the stressful buzz of a smartphone. It would start with a single golden sunbeam hitting the tip of my nose. I'd roll out of my cave, which would obviously be the peak of interior design, moss rugs, glowworm chandeliers, and a specialized rock for scratching that one spot on my back I can never reach. I'd walk to the entrance, take a deep breath of pine-scented air, and give the forest a roar. But not a scary, I'm gonna eat you roar, more like a who's ready for snacks kind of squeak. Being a bear means the world is your buffet and you've got a lifetime pass. First stop, the berry patch. Imagine just sitting in a bush for 3 hours, purple juice smeared all over your face, not a single thought about calories, keto, or beach bodies. Just me, the rhythmic buzzing of the bees, and the occasional butterfly that thinks my left ear is a premium landing pad. I'd be the kind of bear that's far too round to actually hunt anything fast, so I'd have to get creative. I'd probably just sit by the river and convince the salmon to jump directly into my paws by telling them stand-up comedy. Hey, why did the fish blush? Because it saw the ocean's bottom. Splash! Breakfast is served, and it didn't even require a chase. Part 2. The Socialite and the Honey Heist. The afternoon would be dedicated to high-level forest socializing. You'd think bears are loners, but in my bear world, we have a thriving, fluffy community. I'd be the guy organizing the Great Forest Hug-Off. Since I'm either chocolate brown or a pastel purple marshmallow with ears, everyone wants a piece of the fluff. I'd wander through the meadow, high-fiving squirrels, very gently of course, and racing turtles. I'd let the turtles win not because I'm slow, well, okay, mostly because I'm slow, but because I'm a gentleman. But then comes the main event, the mission that defines my existence, the honey. Now look, I know bees have stingers and a very protective attitude toward their property, but I have a secret weapon, thick, cartoonish, impenetrable fluff. I'd approach a hive with the confidence of a king. It's not a heist if you ask nicely, right? Okay, maybe it's a little bit of a heist. I'd be there, paws deep in golden nectar, sticky from head to toe, looking like a giant walking lollipop. If a park ranger saw me, they wouldn't reach for a tranquilizer, they'd reach for a camera and post me on Instagram. #BearGoals. After the honey, I'd need a nap. Not the big winter nap, just a pre-nap nap. I'd find a patch of tall grass, lie on my back with my paws in the air, and watch the clouds. I'd try to find shapes in them, but since I'm a bear, every cloud looks like a pancake, a fish, or a slightly larger bear. Part 3. The Great Back Scratch and the Wisdom of the Woods. Mid-afternoon is maintenance hour. For a bear, this is the equivalent of a luxury spa day. I'd find the roughest, sturdiest pine tree in the valley and perform the sacred back scratch dance. It's a rhythmic, soulful shimmy that looks ridiculous to humans but feels like heaven to a bear. I'd be leaning into that bark, eyes rolling back in pure bliss, humming a little tune that only the owls understand. While I'm scratching, I'd ponder the deep questions like, why are bees so spicy? Or where does the sun go when it's tired? Being a bear gives you a lot of time for philosophy because you aren't worried about your LinkedIn profile. I'd spend time teaching the cubs the important things in life, not how to growl, but how to find the softest moss and how to avoid those prickly bushes that get stuck in your tail. I'd be the cool uncle of the woods, the one who knows where the sweetest sap is hidden and how to make a flute out of a hollow reed. If a hiker ever stumbled across me, I wouldn't run away. I'd just sit there, maybe tip an imaginary hat, and share my berries. Humans look so stressed, always checking their watches. I'd want to tell them, hey buddy, the berries aren't going anywhere. Sit down, feel the grass. It's okay to be a little bit chunky. Part 4. The chunky phase and the nap of the century. Then the sky starts to turn that deep burnt orange, the leaves turn crunchy under my paws, and a certain heaviness enters my limbs. I realize I'm getting sleepy. But wait, I can't just go to sleep yet. First, I must enter the chonky phase. This is the peak of the bear contract. This is the winter prep.
I would spend October eating everything in sight. Acorns? Check. Roots? Check. That one extra large honeycomb I was saving for a rainy day? Definitely check. I'd eat so much that I'd literally just be a perfect sphere with a face and 4 tiny legs wiggling underneath. I'd stop walking altogether and just roll down hills because it's more aerodynamic and, frankly, much more fun. Out of the way, dear, the Chonk Express is coming through. It's a season of pure, unadulterated indulgence. No gym memberships, no New Year, new me pressure. In the bear world, the bigger the belly, the more successful a life. The bigger the bear, the better the nap. It's a status symbol. I'd finally find my cave, which I've spent weeks layering with the finest dried grass and feathers I borrowed from some very confused geese. I'd tuck myself in, grab my favorite smooth river stone to hold onto, and prepare for the world's longest, most epic snooze. As the snow begins to fall outside, sealing the entrance to my cozy fortress, I'd be drifting off into a world of dreams. I wouldn't dream of work or bills. I'd be dreaming of spring. Dreaming of the next cold river to splash in, the next field of wildflowers to roll through, and the next salmon who's ready to hear my latest dad jokes. If I were a bear, life wouldn't be about getting things done or hitting targets. It would be about being. Being soft, being slow, and being remarkably good at doing absolutely nothing. Maybe that's the real lesson here. We're all so busy being productive humans that we forget how to just be. We forget that it's okay to be a little bit round, a little bit sticky, and a whole lot of happy. So, next time you feel the world getting too loud, don't just push through it. Close your eyes. Imagine you have tiny, rounded ears and a big, fluffy belly. Imagine you're sitting in a berry patch with nothing to do but watch a butterfly land on your nose. The world looks a lot better from down there. It's quieter, it's sweeter, and it's a lot more comfortable. Stay fluffy, my friends. I'll see you when the snow